Yeah, everyone's muted, including David, apparently. Uh, 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 it's John McMullen, and I'm gonna unfortunately have to leave even earlier th- than usual because I'm being interviewed by a bunch of people in relation to my attempt to uh, adopt a new dog. Many of you heard my poem last week about my dog dying after 14 years, and it's the whole process. The most interesting dog I found so far will be flown in from Korea for me, so checking that one out. So, in 2018, I wrote a book, or I published a book called The Trump File because of my dissatisfaction with our current president, but I disliked Donald Trump from long before anyone ever heard of him in New York. By the way, this is a character by Bob Zaslow on the front of the book on Donald Trump, and I find it better than any of the current ones. But I'm going to read one from 15 years ago before anyone ever heard of Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Maybe I'm the only person who hates Donald Trump. In today's New York Post, columnist Cindy Adams, writing about Henry Hudson, scribed, anyway, he sailed up the river and like Trump right away, named the thing after himself. At the top of my hill, there is the Donald Trump State Park, Indian Hill section, and there is nothing there, only a closed gate. Trump's company had bought land years ago, hoping to rezone it down from 4 acres and build condos, but the locals fought him and fought him and fought him. So finally, he gave it up and he gave it to New York State with the stipulation to be named after him. Big signs went up on the highway, bigger than the exit signs, and he took his tax write-off and went home. But there's only a locked gate. I wonder if he will rename hell when he gets there. Then I have a bunch of very short poems from different books. My Life in 26 Poems, Getting Older, and this relates to me, obviously. More aches and pains than ever before. And that's not all. Excuse me, what did you say? No more jump shots. What was that guy's name who? More naps. Do you think I need my cane? It takes 10 minutes to take the daily pills. But considering the alternatives, and then from another one, autobiographical poems, longevity. In the first almost 40 years of my life, I lived in four in one apartments. I remember three. The first was burst under two. Three army barracks, all in 6 months, three ripped-out apartments, one Westchester cottage on the estate. In the 44 years since, I've lived in one Jefferson Valley, New York home. I guess I've settled in. I'll conclude with a poem that's present in the current Wanderer, a CC&D publication. And it's that there is one error. Since I wrote the poem, the Speaker of the House has put through aid Ukraine. Before then, he was not. Are there any answers? The Israelis will never forget the slaughter of civilians, the murder of babies, the raping of women, the tasting of hostages, the worst anti-Semitic atrocity since the Holocaust. The non-Hamas Palestinians will never forget the killing of 3,000 children, the turning of their homes into rubble, the death in hospitals due to lack of fuel, and the terror from the bombing. How will this conflict ever be resolved? That's only the rest of the world. In the United States, we have our own problems. The multi-indicted ex-president said if elected, he will introduce a Muslim ban. How will Saudi friends take that? We finally have a Speaker of the House who was against aid to Ukraine. How will on NATO's partners take that? How will Putin take that? Was for a nationwide abortion ban. How will the women of America take that? Was against an increase in veteran benefits. How will the U.S. Armed Forces take that? Who was an election denier and a non-certifier? How will any reasonable person take that? We have a divided country, the most since World War II. We have a divided world, the most since the Cold War. Is there any hope? Thank you for putting up with me.